That thin, crinkled, paper-like skin on your arms, it's not just aging. It's your body sending you a distress signal, and almost nobody is reading it correctly. You've probably tried the expensive creams, the serums with the fancy French names, maybe even the lasers. And yet, every morning you look in the mirror, grab your arm, and watch that skin fold like tissue paper. Here's the brutal truth. 90% of the products marketed for crepey skin are designed to moisturize the surface. But crepey skin isn't a moisture problem. It's a collagen collapse problem, combined with a loss of elastin. And those creams? They can't touch either one. So why do home remedies work when $80 serums fail? And what is this kitchen paste that's quietly trending in dermatology circles because of its almost embarrassing simplicity? Stay with me, because in a few minutes you'll see exactly what's happening inside your skin, exactly why it keeps getting worse, and the exact paste made from 3 things already in your kitchen that starts reversing this process the moment you apply it. And stay especially for the 3rd ingredient. I saved it for the end because once you hear what it does to your skin at the cellular level, you'll never skip it again. Let me paint a picture. You're not someone who ignored their health. You drink water, you moisturize, you maybe even started wearing SPF a few years back. You did the things. But your arms, especially that soft underside skin, it started changing somewhere around your 40s, maybe your 50s. First, it was subtle. Then, one afternoon in good lighting, you really looked, and it looked like someone had deflated your skin from the inside. That feeling, that quiet frustration of doing everything right and watching your body change anyway, that's exactly what we're fixing today. Here's how we're going to break this down. First, what is actually happening inside your skin that causes this? Because if you understand the mechanism, you'll never waste money on the wrong product again. Second, the 3-ingredient kitchen paste, how to make it, how to apply it, and how often. And third, the one thing you can add to this paste, or take alongside it, that amplifies everything by sending the right signal to your skin cells directly. By the end of this, you won't just feel better about your arms, you'll have a real strategy. Not hope, a strategy. Let's talk about what crepey skin actually is, because the name doesn't tell the story. Your skin has 3 layers. The one you see, the epidermis, the one underneath that does all the heavy lifting, the dermis, and below that, a fat and connective tissue layer that acts like padding and support. Crepey skin happens almost entirely in the dermis. That's where your collagen and elastin fibers live. Think of collagen as the scaffolding of your skin, the rigid framework that keeps everything structured. And elastin is exactly what it sounds like, the elastic. It's what lets your skin snap back when you pinch it. When you're in your 20s, both of these are being produced, maintained, and recycled constantly. Your skin is basically running a full construction crew 24 hours a day. Then comes the slow mutiny. After 30, collagen production drops about 1% per year. That sounds small. Over 20 years, that's a 20% structural loss. And elastin? Elastin barely regenerates at all after a certain point. You lose it, and it doesn't come back without help. Add sun exposure, because UV radiation is the single fastest destroyer of both collagen and elastin, and you've got a situation where the scaffolding is dissolving, the elastic is snapping, and the outer layer of your skin now has nothing firm to hold on to. The result? It crinkles, it folds, it hangs. It looks crepey. Here's what most people get wrong. They think they need to add moisture to fix this, so they layer on lotion. And the lotion makes the skin feel soft for about 3 hours. Then it goes back. Because the moisture isn't the problem. The structural proteins underneath are the problem. You can't fix a collapsed ceiling by painting the walls. Quick pause, because I want to know something. Where is your crepey skin worst? Is it the inner upper arms, the underside of the forearms, or maybe you're also seeing it on your neck and chest? Drop it in the comments, because the location actually tells us something about the cause, and later in this video I'm going to explain why certain spots go first. Okay, let's get into the paste, the 3-ingredient kitchen paste. I want to be clear about something before we go further. This isn't a miracle cure. Nothing is. But this combination works because each ingredient addresses a different layer of the problem, and together they create a topical environment that actually signals your skin to repair. That's the key word, signal. The first ingredient is raw egg white. Egg whites are one of the oldest cosmetic ingredients on the planet, and here's why they've survived thousands of years of beauty trends. They work.
Raw egg white contains albumin, a protein that when applied to skin temporarily tightens and firms the surface by forming a thin, contractile film as it dries. But that's the short-term effect, and short-term is not what we're going for. What's more interesting is that egg white contains small peptide chains, fragments of protein, that can penetrate the epidermis and reach the upper dermis. Once there, they act as building blocks that support the skin's natural protein synthesis. You're not just sitting on the surface, you're feeding the deeper layers. The application method matters here. You don't just slap it on. Whisk one egg white until slightly frothy. Apply to clean, dry skin in an upward direction, always upward against gravity. Let it sit for 15 to 20 minutes until it feels tight and slightly stiff. Do not let it fully crack and flake. Rinse with lukewarm water. The upward application is not random. You're training the tissue to resist the constant downward pull of gravity. It sounds simple. It works. The second ingredient is coconut oil. I know you've heard about coconut oil 1,000 times, but not like this. Most people use coconut oil as a moisturizer. That's fine. But the reason it works for crepey skin specifically is different. It comes down to medium-chain fatty acids, particularly lauric acid. Lauric acid is one of the most potent antioxidant fatty acids known to exist naturally in food. When applied to aging skin, it does two things. It reduces the oxidative stress caused by UV damage, that invisible cellular destruction that breaks down collagen over time, and it improves skin barrier function, which means your skin holds on to what it produces rather than leaking it out. Think of it as sealing the building while you're repairing the inside. Here's the critical detail. Use virgin, unrefined coconut oil. The processed versions have had most of the beneficial fatty acids stripped out. The jar should smell faintly of coconut. If it doesn't, it's been overprocessed. 1 tablespoon, warmed between your palms, then massaged into the skin with firm, circular, upward strokes for a full 2 minutes. The massage itself is part of the treatment. It stimulates blood flow to the dermis, which is where all the repair actually happens. Now the third ingredient. This is the one I promised you. Ground coffee. Specifically, the fine grounds left over from your morning brew. Coffee grounds are one of the most underestimated skincare ingredients in existence, and here's why dermatologists are paying attention. Coffee grounds contain chlorogenic acids, powerful antioxidants that neutralize the free radicals that destroy collagen fibers. But the mechanical action of the grounds also creates something called microexfoliation. When you gently rub coffee grounds on the skin surface, you remove the buildup of dead cells that make crepey skin look even more textured and dull. But here's where it gets interesting. The microexfoliation also temporarily increases blood flow to the dermis by triggering a very mild inflammatory response. Not damaging inflammation, healing inflammation, the kind that sends collagen-building signals down into the tissue.
And caffeine, which is present in the grounds even after brewing, has been studied for its ability to stimulate circulation and reduce the appearance of fine, crepey lines when absorbed through the skin. This is the ingredient that turns a topical paste into a treatment. Use 2 tablespoons of cooled, used coffee grounds. Mix with 1 tablespoon of coconut oil to form a paste. Apply over the egg white once it has fully dried and been rinsed off. Here's the full protocol. Step 1. Apply egg white, let sit 15 to 20 minutes, rinse with lukewarm water. Step 2. Apply the coffee and coconut oil paste, massage for 2 minutes using circular upward strokes, leave for an additional 10 minutes. Step 3. Rinse with cool water. Do not use hot water, it strips the oils you just applied. Step 4. Pat dry And do not apply any synthetic lotion or fragrance afterward. You want those fatty acids sitting on your skin. Do this 3 times per week. Consistency over intensity. Remember at the start, I told you there was a third element, the one that changes everything. Here it is. The paste works on the outside, but crepey skin at its root is also a nutrition problem. Your skin cannot build collagen without specific raw materials circulating in your bloodstream. It's that simple, and it's that ignored. The first non-negotiable is vitamin C. Not the gummies, not the juice, actual vitamin C from whole food sources or a clean supplement. Vitamin C is a direct cofactor in collagen synthesis. Without enough of it in your blood, the cells in your dermis literally cannot assemble new collagen chains even when they want to. This is established biochemistry. It's not a trend. The dark irony? Most people in developed countries are walking around chronically low in vitamin C, not deficient enough to get scurvy, but deficient enough that their collagen production is running at maybe 60% capacity. Double your vitamin C intake for 30 days. Track what happens to your skin. The second is silica. This mineral is so chronically overlooked it borders on criminal. Silica is the mineral backbone of both collagen and elastin. It's what gives the fibers their structural rigidity. When you're deficient, and after 40 nearly everyone is running lower, those fibers become brittle and fragile. The best dietary sources are cucumber skin, oats, and horsetail tea. Horsetail tea, in particular, is one of the highest natural sources of organic silica on Earth, and it costs almost nothing. 1 cup a day, 3 weeks. Some people report visible changes in skin texture, not because of magic, but because they finally gave their tissue the mineral it needed to do its job. The third is hydration, but done correctly, not just water.
Skin hydration is driven not by how much water you drink, but by how much water your cells can actually absorb and hold. That process requires electrolytes, specifically sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Most women drinking adequate water but eating low-sodium diets are paradoxically dehydrated at the cellular level. The water passes through without being retained in the tissue. Add a small pinch of high-quality sea salt to one of your daily glasses of water. Add potassium-rich foods, avocado, banana, sweet potato. This combination dramatically improves the skin's ability to stay plump and hydrated from the inside, which makes the outer treatments work even better. Earlier, I asked where your crepey skin is worst, and I promised to explain why. The inner upper arm goes first because that area has the thinnest skin on your body, the fewest active sebaceous glands, and the least natural moisturizing factor. It's structurally vulnerable and gets almost no circulation from movement. This is why the massage in the paste protocol isn't optional. That specific area needs manual stimulation to get blood moving to the dermis. The underside of the forearm is a different story. That's primarily sun damage. Years of driving, working near windows, outdoor activity. UV hits that surface at a flat angle and destroys collagen fiber by fiber over decades. If that's where you're seeing it, the coffee grounds antioxidant treatment becomes even more critical, and adding vitamin C to your diet isn't a suggestion, it's essentially required. The neck and chest? That's a gravity and collagen depletion combination, addressed by the paste and the internal protocol working together. Now you understand why the location tells the story. Here's where you are right now. You understand that crepey skin is not a surface moisture problem. It's a structural protein collapse accelerated by sun damage, nutrient deficiency, and zero stimulation to the dermis. You have a 3-ingredient paste made from things already in your kitchen that addresses every layer of that problem. You have an internal protocol that gives your skin the raw materials it needs to actually repair. And you now understand why most expensive products fail, because they're solving the wrong problem. This isn't complicated. That's almost the most frustrating part. The solution was never in the $90 serum. It was in your fridge, your pantry, and your kitchen cabinet. Start with the paste this week. 3 times per week, minimum 4 weeks before you judge results. Add the vitamin C and the silica the same week. These take time to show up in the skin. Collagen turnover is a slow process, but it is a process that you can now support. You're not stuck. Your skin is not done. The biology still works. It just needs the right inputs. Try it and come back here to tell me what changed.